The film opens with a man named Juwon, who is in a car with his mentally ill brother and his niece, Tamara. On the way, they witness an accident. This immediately reminds Juwon of his past, where he also experienced the same thing, and the incident resulted in the death of his girlfriend. Strangely, however, his girlfriend was his own brother's wife. So when Juwon was young, he met a woman named Karo. She was very beautiful and Juwon immediately fell in love with her. Eventually, they began a relationship, and Juwon seemed unwilling to let go or lose Karo. Because Juwon was too overbearing and unwilling to let go, Karo felt uncomfortable and slowly pulled away. Until one afternoon, when Juwon was coming home from school, he accidentally saw Karo with another man, who was none other than his own brother. Instantly, his heart was broken, and Juwon chose to leave. Since that incident, Juwon has never seen Karo again, and their relationship has officially ended. 4 years, Juwon has lived with his maid, Maribel. Sometimes, a neighbor named Sarah comes to help. Maribel apparently has feelings for Juwon, but Juwon doesn't think anything of it. Marble was once married and had a son, Andreas, and is now a widow after separating from her husband. The passing of years hasn't made Juwon forget Karo. His love for her remains. Karo's relationship with Juwon's sister eventually progressed to marriage, although Karo and Juwon have secretly reconnected. It wasn't Juan's wish, but Karo's request. Meanwhile, Maribel continues to give Juwon her attention, hoping he will reciprocate. Her efforts pay off. When she prepares clothes for Juwon, Juwon invites her to make out for the first time. Maribel finally gets her wish. Since then, their relationship has grown closer, like a couple. They often go out together, even flirting, no matter where they are. Not only that, they sometimes entrusted their children to Sarah so they could be intimate without interruption. Until one night, while having dinner, Sarah, who was looking for Juwon, saw their closeness. Sarah looked sad, wondering if Sarah had also fallen for Juwon. And coincidentally, Sarah was also a widow. Problems arose when Maribel's son invited his mother to meet his father. Even though they had been separated for a long time, he still often bothered Sarah and often asked her for money. Annoyed, Maribel refused to give him any money and asked him to stay away from her daughter. Annoyed by Maribel's behavior, one day her husband confronted Maribel and tried to kill her. Fortunately, Maribel survived and was rushed to the hospital by Juwon. Not long after, Juan was approached by a man, and this is where the truth came to light. So, after the accident involving Karo, Juwon had a big fight with his own brother, or Karo's husband. Ultimately, Juwon killed his own brother. The incident was witnessed by Juwon's mentally ill sister, and she remains traumatized by it to this day. Juwon did have a relationship with Karo, but it wasn't his intention, and the incident happened a long time ago. Now, Juwon is trying to forget everything and start a new chapter with the people he loves, including, of course, Maribel. And finally, the film ends.